Week 4, we are here watching it all go down. The rookies are having a day, and also we have the typical NFL season heartbreaks with injuries and stuff like that. We're going to get into all of this here in just a few short minutes, talking about all the games that have gone on today so far. It's currently Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm joined by Caleb. Once again, second time on the show. What's up, dude?
What is up?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. This has been a crazy day. If you could, what's your favorite thing that's happened today?
Oh my gosh. So many disappointers. I think I gotta go Jaxson Dart, man. I love Jaxson Dart. It wasn't the craziest thing, but coming out beating the Chargers, man. Come on, man. Come on. He put the oof. Oh,
Goose.
No, that was awesome. I love J Dart, and Brian Dable was so happy. Did you see him like hugging him and kissing his forehead afterward? I said, man, I love it. I know how exciting that is. How are you feeling after the 1 o'clock and halfway through 4 o'clock games?
I'm feeling really good. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to do something else. Yeah, I'm feeling really good. This was so we had the fantasy football episode on Tuesday night with Alex, Logan, and Dom, and it was pretty unanimous amongst us all that everybody needed to go out and buy Ashton Genty. In fact, that was Alex's number one buy for the week, and that has paid off handsomely. Currently, he has, Alex. Let's see, he's got 14 carries, 119 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, then 2 receptions, 17 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Yeah.
Good Lord.
The Ashton breakout game is here. Man, I'm just so excited. I loved seeing Jaxson Dart leading the Giants to an upset. I am terribly, terribly depressed about Malik Neighbors.
Tears, pain, every negative emotion.
Let's just take a moment of silence. All right, yeah. Prayers up to Malik, and I just hope he comes back next year strong. It just sucks, and with Dart coming in, looking so good, to lose Neighbors so early in that game, man, just painful.
Yeah, it hurts.
But anyway, we'll get into the games now because about 7:30 tonight, guys, we have guest Seamus. You guys have all met Seamus on here a couple times now. He's going to come on tonight to help us with the Sunday night game, breaking that down. And then we have a couple guests coming on for tomorrow night's. There's 2 games tomorrow night, but only one is technically prime time. So the Bengals-Broncos game, we're going to cover that one. Wow. I'm going to block Hollowcade because that's just trash.
Did you see Parker Washington just turned a punt?
Oh, no.
That's
Did he
crazy.
return for a touchdown?
Yeah, he's took it all the way back.
Yeah, we never wish injuries on NFL players. These are real people, and that's just terrible. So sorry to anybody who saw that comment. But anyway, if you're watching, if you're hanging out with us tonight, hang out with us, talk to us, leave us comments. You can go to YouTube and comment, and we'll share your comment on the screen and comment on stuff. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, share it with your friends and your family. This episode will also be out on podcast later. You can find us on everywhere podcasts are streaming, Fan Feed Network, and then go to the website, fanfeednetwork.com. Tons of articles going on. But for that, we're going to start rapid fire going through some of these games. You ready, Cabes?
I am locked.
Oh, baby. And as I'm talking right now, looks like Nico Remigio is returning a punt.
I saw that too. Said, all right, no more. Lock.
These are true live reactions. So let's go to Thursday night's game first. Seahawks Cardinals, really good game. Looked like it was going to be a real stinker. Cardinals looked like they were lost that whole first half. They came back and honestly should have won that game. Cabes, what are your takeaways from that game?
Yeah, weird. Really up and down game. I was watching this game with one of my good buddies, Jay Fitty. Shout out Jay Fitt, the Seattle fan. Um, and yeah, he was up and down the whole time. It was kind of a boring game until the last like 5 to 10 minutes. Everyone thought Marvin was dead. Then he came back. Everybody thought JSN wasn't doing nothing. Then he made some plays. So um, I like the Seahawks. I just wish they would get their playmakers involved a little sooner. Um, but exciting game there at the end. So that made it interesting to stay up late on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I felt my heart breaking for Marvin that whole first half. Marvin Harrison Jr. just looked just so defeated mentally. And both of Kyler's interceptions in the first half were due to Marvin failures on his part, which was just painful. But to see him come back in the second half and have a pretty good half and score that touchdown, man, and he looked like he was about to cry in the end zone. And I mean, it's funny, but it's not really funny. I can't imagine the pressure that a guy like that feels. So good for him. But I think at the end of the day, we all agree Kyler is still just an average quarterback. He did play better in the second half, but man, just average. And the Seahawks are really a sleeper team. I think that's really what I'm learning is that defense is deceivingly good, and the offense is just extremely, extremely efficient. This was probably JSN's worst game. 4 catches for 79 yards. I mean, that's pretty good. And Darnold is just straight up dealing. So pretty good game. We'll take that. Let's go to today's games. We had the Titans and the Texans play. Texans won 26-0. Not a surprise that the Texans won, but Caleb, what did you take away from this one?
Nothing crazy. I was excited to see the Texans gaining some momentum. I want to see them use Jaden Higgins more because he's good. Get him more involved. Woody Marks, the rookie running back, went late in the draft, had a good day today, and he was not a very amusing prospect, but good for him nonetheless. The Titans side, man, I mean, a young team. They're rebuilding. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, not a lot of crazy takeaways in this one.
Yeah, Cam Ward, I saw the interviews after the game, and man, just brutally honest. But you could tell he's like the leader of that team. But when asked, how did you play today, Cam? He just responded with a 3-letter word. That's a different word for donkey. He just said basically it plays like trash. They played like trash. The whole team played like trash, and they're not going to get better unless what they talk about in practices translates to the field. So yeah, Texans still, the offensive line looked so bad that first half.
So bad.
It was a close, low scoring game for the whole first half. It wasn't until the second half when the Texans started pulling away, and they have a lot of work to do. That offense is still just looking pretty bad, even though they put up 26 points. It's against the worst team in the league, and but Woody Marks definitely the bright spot, I'd say. And I agree with you. Jaden Higgins should get more work. He caught that one ball for a touchdown. But Woody Marks is a great guy to add in all your fantasy leagues. He had 17 carries today for 69 yards, and then also added 4 receptions out of the backfield for 50 and a touchdown and a rushing touchdown. So 2 touchdowns. I mean, just a great day for Woody. 4th-round pick out of USC.
On my bench in every league. That's great. Love
Same. Gotta love it. Yeah, but who's going to play Woody Marks? Who's going to play Woody Marks in week 4? Not I. That's true. Big.
This is very true. Unless you're just riddled with injuries. I don't think anyone's reaching that deep into the bag for Mr. Woodrow Marks.
Yeah, and if you are, you're pleasantly surprised, so we'll take it.
All
right, Eagles versus Buccaneers. Eagles win 31-25. This came down to the last minute, really. The Eagles had a huge lead at halftime and just blew it. Came out super flat on offense in the second half. And really, it's the same thing. The offense just looks kind of anemic. That's a bad Buccaneers defense that's lost their edge rusher, Kalijah Cansey. And I mean, they put up points. I'll give it to them, but still, you look at the stat lines. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 24 for 130 yards. Saquon Barkley had 19 carries for 43 yards. Dallas Goedert was the leading receiver, 4 catches, 37 yards. Once again, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown. Devonta, 2 catches, 29 yards. A.J. Brown, 2 catches, 7 yards. Gabe, what stood out to you in this game?
Oh, dude, it's just depressing. The Eagles won the game, and it's because of their defense, because the Buccaneers offense outplayed them by a lot. I mean, I'm not going to keep going about the Eagles. It's just boring, but I'm hoping that they can find something to ignite their receivers, their game overall, just to elevate a little bit so they stop coming out so slow. Puka Nacua touchdown.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuning in Gosh, Puka's a dog.
Dude, Baker Mayfield is the clutchest QB in the league. I know he didn't get it done today. I get it, but oh my gosh, man. This guy just steps up and just shows off, his mentality, honestly, and his talent as well. But on top of that, Baker and Emeka are just up and coming stars who are just super exciting to watch. So, looking forward to future games for the Bucs, and I guess not looking forward to watching the Eagles play again.
Yeah. I mean, Baker's just perennially underrated. Was good to see Chris Godwin get back out there, and he did have 10 targets, only turned it into 3 catches for 26 yards. But yeah, like you said, Mecca's young star. That touchdown catch, I will say, that should have been a pick. That was a miracle.
I agree. It fit right between the two guys, and yeah, that was a very lucky situation.
That's not a negative on Emeka. I mean, to make that catch, that's a pretty difficult catch to make.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Buccaneers, ice in their veins. You can never count them out of any game. And the Eagles' offensive woes continue. They just, like I said, man, they just look abysmal.
And they got the early lead. I think they had, was it a blocked punt for a touchdown to start the game?
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was a little
the
late
very
to
first
the games.
Okay, yeah, the very first touchdown scored was a blocked punt or a blocked field goal, and the Eagles took it back, and then took it down a couple other drives and got some easy touchdowns. Nothing impressive. Nice. But yeah, pretty exciting yet boring game, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty exciting game. Just hate to see the Eagles win. It just never is fun.
No,
never
not
fun.
Really.
But let's move on to an even more exciting game. The biggest upset on the slate today, arguably, the New York Giants take on the Los Angeles Chargers. New York Giants bring in the new kid, Jaxson Dart.
Dart.
And they win 21-18. Man, Jackson, what a guy. What a guy. Caves, what did you take away from this one?
I mean, all I got to say is Dart is looking better than guys like Bo Nix, the quarterback for Denver Broncos, the pass leader over there in Denver. It's just crazy to me. This is the kind of guy you want to build your team on.
That's right. Broncos messed up, dude. Shout out to you.
Yeah. What are they doing? But yeah, very fun game. Super fun game. Obviously, we touched on Malik Neighbors, so I'm not going to waste any time. Shed any more tears. No more tears left to cry, as Ariana Grande would say. Right. Big opportunity for Wan'Dale Robinson to come out and be the wide receiver 1, so we'll see what that looks like. And your boy, Omarion Hampton. He's here. And he's here to stay.
Yeah.
Hamptonius.
Yeah. He was a dog, man. That touchdown run was awesome.
And let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who is the best receiver in LA? And rank them 1, 2, and 3.
We talked about this at on the fantasy episode on Tuesday because I brought this question up, and obviously we all really still like Ladd, and Keenan's been playing well, and Quentin Johnson was like, oh yeah, well he's had a couple good games, but like he's been pretty bad most of his career, and I brought up, this is something I've learned from playing fantasy football for so long is there are guys that you get so out on that when they start performing well, you just can't see what they're actually doing and and just allow it to be what it is. And Quentin Johnson today, dude, I mean, easily the number one receiver on the team. 8 catches, 98 yards, 13 targets, which is a big one. In a room with Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. And those are two guys that are like route running specialists. So they get open routinely. And Quentin was the alpha. When the chips were down, Justin Herbert was looking downfield for Quentin. And I think the breakout is real. And I think that you have to adjust your priors because I think Quentin Johnson, I'm not saying he's the best in the on the team right now, but he's right now the one that Justin Herbert is leaning on. I'd say the most. So that's a big deal for Quentin Johnson. Really happy for him because both of us were Quentin Johnson believers when he came out of college.
Oh yeah.
Out there in Texas Christian. Yeah, but I mean, he's just sometimes it takes guys a little longer. Davante Adams is a great example. Like Davante Adams' first 2 years in the league are so forgettable. They're so bad. All his numbers, everything would tell you that he was bad. And now, I mean, he's probably one of the best receivers to ever play. And so you just can't. You have to be willing to pivot off of your prior takes. So that's what I think about Quentin. I mean, I would rank it Quentin, Ladd, and Keenan. I still believe in Ladd, but I mean, today was pretty not encouraging for Ladd. 1 catch, for 11 yards on 6 targets.
For sure.
How would you rank that?
Oh, that's tough. I really like Ladd, and I really liked QJ, but he hurt me. And I can't just forget what he did to me. I've never liked Keenan. I don't care what you say, the years he's had in the past. He's hurt me too many times, more than I can count.
Yeah.
So Keenan's third. I don't know. I think Ladd's going to get better. I still think Ladd is the most talented receiver on the team.
Yeah.
And I think his games are going to come, in my opinion.
Yeah. I need to. I guess I need to look into more things of why he's struggling so bad. Is it like the way they're deploying him? Are they playing him outside rather than in the slot? And I don't know. But I still think that Ladd is, like you said, the best receiver on this team. But I digress. This was a great game. And I'll speak on the Giants really quick because I didn't really get to. We talked about this on the Thursday night show. What we wanted to see for Jaxson Dart was just a clean game. That's the number one thing you want to see with a rookie quarterback taking his first start. Don't make dumb mistakes or turnovers. He had no interceptions, played very conservative, 13 of 20 for 111 yards. So, he didn't light up the stat board, but he added the 54 yards on 10 rushes and 1 touchdown. And that's a huge deal for that team. I mean, they were converting third downs very, very often, which is an easy way to win. So, wow, this is so wild. I'm just reading through the box score. So Russell Wilson, I know Russell Wilson came in and played because Jackson had to get evaluated for a concussion. Do you know he fumbled in that short amount of time?
Did he really?
Yeah, 1 fumble. He didn't lose it. He recovered it. But yeah, not good. Not good for Russ.
That's his nice little. This is what you get for benching me.
I kept seeing the little sports tracker, the ticker at the bottom saying that Russell Wilson would be a trade target in the upcoming weeks. Is there any teams you think that would trade for Russ right now?
Oh man, I feel like the obvious one could be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
Depending on what you're giving up, though, I wouldn't agree with it. I loved Russell Wilson in his prime, and Russell Wilson is not that guy anymore that he once was.
Yeah.
He can throw some moon balls every now and then that keeps him around and keeps him somewhat relevant. But in my opinion, I think Jameis Winston should have started the season over him this year for New York, because you want a guy who's going to push the ball down the field. And I'm a Pittsburgh fan, so I watched Russell Wilson all last year. And it's just there's no consistency at all,
Yeah, abysmal.
So if that's all you can get as the Cincinnati Bengals or other teams, then yeah, do what you got to do. But don't think you're making a big upgrade from what you currently have.
No. Yeah, 100%. Russ is just a stopgap. He's a guy, I think more teams will be interested in him to buy him as like just a potential backup.
Why is
maybe.
Cooper Rush in the game?
Which game?
The Baltimore game. Did Lamar get benched or hurt?
Oh,
no!
that is painful. I am not sure why Cooper Rush would be in the game.
It's, what is it, 13:30?
Oh, yeah,
like
he hurt his hamstring.
At that point. Oh, no.
Yeah, Lamar hurt his hamstring. That is just bad. Yeah, we'll get just nonstop pain.
Why?
Let's move on. Patriots and Panthers. This was a shellacking, shellacking of a lifetime, buddy.
Smackdown.
Beat down. Patriots win 42-13. What were your takeaways from this game?
Patriots looked good. The Panthers looked horrible.
Yeah.
I guess really the biggest question is it time for the Panthers to move on from Bryce?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a serious concern.
I'm not sure. It's a tough one.
Yeah, in Bryce's favor, he didn't throw any interceptions this game.
No.
But they just couldn't convert.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't keep drives alive. He was 18 of 30 for 150 yards, a 5-yard average, which is not what you want to see, especially when you have Teteroa and McMillan. I think McMillan was shadowed by Christian Gonzalez, who was just returning. So that's a good thing. Wow, 4th and 25 for the Bears, and they're about to kick a field goal. So, yeah, just really bad vibes. And the Panthers defense has been playing pretty well the last 2 games, but they couldn't stop the run, which was their Achilles heel last year. And it's not like the New England was running all over them with one guy. They just had multiple guys coming in and sustaining drives for them. So Ramondre got a good amount of work. Travion did get a touchdown this game, 7 carries, 32 yards.
Let's go!
Added, 2 receptions, 14 yards.
Come on now.
Hey, it's a little something.
Come on now. We up here. We going to the top.
Going to the top, baby.
I was praying for times like this. Ramondre, after fumbling twice last week, sorry to cut you off, but it's just, what are you doing? Stop giving the guy who's not as good and gives the ball away more opportunities.
Right.
And then I think there was a report earlier this week that Mike Vrabel was saying that Ramondre is not going to receive any disciplinary action for his fumbles. Like, what?
That's just crazy.
But it was pretty close there. Ramondre had 9 attempts, Travion 7 attempts, and Antonio Gibson 6 attempts. So
yeah, it's a 3-way. I mean, and this game's hard to judge it by because it was such a blowout. They were just giving whoever the ball. But I mean, that's kind of how it's been, is that all 3 guys have been getting work, and it's just extremely frustrating. I think the most frustrating thing for me is that Travion Henderson, coming out of college, one of his biggest strengths was that he was such a good back and pass pro. And apparently from the smart guys, I don't know how to judge pass pro, but from the smart guys on Twitter, he is struggling really bad. And Chiefs just scored again. Hollywood Brown revenge touchdown. Yeah, Travion he's really struggling in pass pro, which on most teams is going to keep you off the field, but especially the Patriots with old school Mike Vrabel. I mean, that's just like that's worse than fumbling 2 times in a game. It doesn't make sense. Patriots don't make sense. Why would you spend early 2nd-round draft capital on a guy that you're hardly playing, that you're spelling with Ramondre Stevenson, who is proven to be buns? But yeah, just extremely frustrating. The time is coming soon, but it's still not there yet for Travion.
And last thing I'll say, but this Patriots team is really exciting. With all the young guys they have and everything they're starting to put together and do, I really think once everything starts coming together and everyone's kind of filling their spots and knowing their position, I think this Patriots offense is going to look really good. Drake May is already really stepping it up.
Drake May.
Drake May. We could see some maybe like receivers step up in the receiving game a little better. Stephon Diggs was the guy today. Yeah, Tutu Atwell just caught like a 90-yard touchdown.
Really?
Yeah. That's
2-2.
insane. 2-2.
Rams up 20, about to be 27-20.
Wow. Rams are the best team in the NFC. Anyways, all that being said, the Patriots, if you are a Patriot fan, then you should be excited. You should be getting ready for what's to come.
Yeah, they just need to add some receivers, man. The receiving core is the only thing that stresses me out, and the offensive line.
Yeah.
They still have a lot to do, but I think that offense is trending up, and they just have, brand new coaches. So there's a lot to work through early on in the season. They're going to figure it out. I mean, they hadn't scored many points the first 3 games, and then they'd go and drop 42 against a pretty good Panthers defense. So let's move on. We'll go to the Lions-Browns game. Lions win 34-10. Not too much of a surprise. Joe Flacco continues to struggle, while Quinshon Judkins continues to impress. 21 carries, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. Cabes, anything else that stood out to you in this game?
Nothing crazy. I guess really I'm a little disappointed with Jameson Williams. I thought it was going to have a better start to his season, and just not seeing it. Maybe it's time for Isaac Tesla to take over as the wide receiver too. Who knows?
Wow. Yeah.
But someone's going to have to do it. On the opposite end, it's kind of what you expect from the Browns. I guess the question is when do you make a change in quarterbacks?
Right.
And which quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the Jameson note, I'll say, he dropped a couple, I think like 1 or 2 deep balls that were definitely catchable, which that was frustrating. But Jared Goff also just looks like he's struggling to throw that deep ball, at least today. He missed him on a couple throws. But
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he Goff definitely struggled. I mean, Jameson had 8 targets.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you look back at his air yards numbers, he had a crap ton of air yards. But he just struggled to pull anything in, and that's the risk you run with a deep threat guy. And then on the Cleveland quarterback thing, I think it's Dylan Gabriel time. I think now's a good time to bring him in. Flacco started the first 4 games, and the offense is okay. They, miraculously win against the Packers last week. But, now just take your shots. Let Joe Flacco play 4 games, bring in Dylan Gabriel, see what he's got, give him a couple games play. If he's good, let him continue playing. And if he's struggling, bring in Shador. But I will say one thing about Kevin Stefanski is he's real stubborn with these quarterbacks, because like Deshaun Watson last year and the last 2 years has been so bad and has not warranted extended playing time, and they kept him in. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he was so bad, abysmal. And as long as he was healthy and the other quarterback was hurt, that's the guy who was starting. They wouldn't entertain the idea of anyone else. So Stefanski might actually stick with Flacco a little longer. Who knows? But I will say one more thing. Isaiah Bond, I see him in the box score right here. 3 catches, 58 yards on 6 targets.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a guy that was pretty highly touted. I mean, probably would have been a first, second round pick had he not had all the off-field issues. Came out of Texas. He's the one that famously claimed he was going to run a 4.1 40 at the combine, and then proceeded to run like a 4.4, which is still impressive. But Doc, why are you telling people you're going to run a 4.1? That's insane.
It looks like the Rams just picked the ball off, and that might be game.
Rams call game. I love it.
Actually, Colts have three timeouts. There's a chance.
Okay, Colts do have 3 timeouts.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope.
But yeah,
this is
not
what we're here
looking
for.
too happy. If you're a Browns fan, I guess revert to your backup team that you enjoy watching.
Yeah, we know you have them.
Good to switch the channel. It's time.
You can come root for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oof.
Speaking of which, why don't we go to Pittsburgh? That was probably a game we should have gone to earlier.
That's right. That was the early morning game, which I completely forgot about.
Yeah, the Ireland game, and right there at like 8:20, Jaylen Warren was announced to be out, which just threw me for a loop. So that was good. That's just always fun. But Steelers end up winning 24-21 in Ireland. Gabes, what stood out to you in this game? Did you get a chance to watch back some of the highlights?
I did. I actually watched most of this game. I was sitting on the couch this morning thinking, what am I going to do until 1 o'clock? And I was like, wait a second. Turn the TV on. It's like, beautiful. I don't know why. I just completely forgot about it. I was like, yippee. Yeah, this was a fun one to watch. Pittsburgh didn't do anything crazy. I was not excited for this game because Minnesota is very good at shutting down opposing team schemes. Yeah. They are really good at it. And what I didn't realize, though, is I feel like Pittsburgh doesn't really have a go-to scheme. So I was like, wait a minute.
You can't stop what we don't have.
Right. So I think Minnesota just I can't speak for them, obviously, but it looked like they just didn't know that Kenneth Gainwell was going to come out and score 2 touchdowns and put up 90 yards on them. I couldn't have told you that either. But good stuff by Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith by creating a scheme last minute. Whether they knew that Jaylen Warren was going to play or not, who knows? But they got it done. DK Metcalf had a beautiful catch and run play. That boy was chugging, man. When you see DK run,
that boy, that's a big dude running fast.
He looks like he's in like a lunge every time he takes a step. It's hilarious. Like,
it's crazy to see a guy that's like 6'5" and like 230 run that fast.
Right. It's
pretty incredible.
Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, Carson Wentz is bad. So it stinks having him at the helm. Meanwhile, JJ McCarthy is still nursing an ankle, which I heard that he was doing a lot better. But coaches said they wanted him to be 100% before he came back to play, which I think is probably smart. You want your young QB to have all the confidence he can get. But yeah, I enjoyed watching the game.
Yeah, this is one I didn't get to watch. I I need to go back and watch. I saw the DK highlight. I saw a 4th and goal attempt by the Steelers from like 4 yards out where they just did halfback dive, and it was just the most Arthur Smith thing I've ever seen. Failed to convert. They were up by 10 points and allowed Minnesota to score after that. So, Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, this was a guy the team was like propping up ever since they picked him up in free agency over the offseason, and I didn't understand it because Gainwell has not been very good in the league. But, man, 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was the game. That was how they won the game because Minnesota's defense very good against the pass, but terrible against the run. So they ran right into the run funnel and ended up winning. Just good to see, even Rodgers protecting the ball, no interceptions. Carson Wentz threw 2 picks, I think early from what I saw.
I think that's right.
Yeah. But then, I think he had an impressive second half because I saw at halftime it was 21-6. So for them to come back to 24-21, he was balling, and you get to see Justin Jefferson, come back out of the shadows, 10 catches, 126 yards. And even Jordan Addison, fresh off suspension, 4 catches for 114 yards, and he should have had a touchdown. He got tackled at the very last minute. And, just painful.
That's
painful.
The last thing I'll mention is if you're in any deep leagues, fantasy-wise, Xavier Scott is backing up Jordan Mason.
Yep.
And this guy's a great pass catcher. I was outbid by someone last week on waiver DOSU.
It was. Let's go.
It was like by $1 too. And it's like, oh!
There's one guy I play with who's like the sharpest dude I've ever played like fantasy football with. He's in a dynasty league with me, and I've asked him before like his takes on players, and like every one of them, he was huge on Devin A-Chain. Before anybody was really ever on him, he was like, I'd take him like top 3 of the draft and stuff like that. And he was right. He was so right. And so I saw him this year pick up Xavier Scott before the season, and I was like, that is so interesting because I've never heard of this guy, but I'm gonna do it. And I've already had him on my team, and I dropped him in that league, and then I picked him up again.
Oh my gosh,
so,
what a deep
he's
grab!
The perfect...
It's just, Jordan Mason is a great runner, but he's not going to see the field in negative gameplay situations. He's not a strong receiver, not at all. Yeah. But Xavier Scott comes in, he's big, he's got a nice afro looking thing. It's beautiful. He had 8 targets, 6 catches. Just reliable. They were down the field catches, screen catches.
And he scored.
He was all over the place, and he scored with a nice toe tap in the back of the end zone. A nice toe tap.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on Xavier Scott after this. How did this guy get past me?
Who is Xavier Scott?
We got TB up in the chat. What up, dudes? What's up, TB? TB's chilling right now because Denver doesn't play till tomorrow night. So we don't have anything to roast him about. But he does get a little vengeance seeing Indiana Jones and the Colts lose today to the Rams, his other favorite team.
Nice.
So shout out TB. Love you, big dog. Let's move on to the Bills and Saints game. This looked like it was going to be pretty close for most of the game. Looked like it was going to be the upset of the day. But the Bills pull it out 31-19. Caleb, anything stand out to you in this game?
I mean, I don't think it was a surprise. I thought the Saints were going to keep it a little closer for more of the game. I'll be honest. I really enjoy the Saints scheme they have going right now. They run a very fast-paced offense, and Riley's not the strongest passer in the league, but he gets the ball out quick, and they just hammer, just moving down the field. Everyone's involved. Yeah. Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, AK, Rashid Shaheed. And it's nothing flashy, it's nothing crazy, but I love that fast-paced offense. Obviously, they're hurting in some areas. They're not as good as other teams, so you're not going to see them, do anything crazy this year. But the Saints have always just been kind of a sound, smart team. If that makes sense, I guess coaching-wise. But yeah, nothing crazy on this one. The Bills continue to do what they do. I don't know. Would you place Bills at number 1 in your power rankings?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess they have to be after today.
Yeah.
They're just playing solid football. They're such a boring team, I feel like. Other than Josh Allen, it's just James Cook's exciting. The receiving options, that's the part that I just get frustrated with. It's like Khalil Shakir is like the leading receiver, 5 catches for 69 yards. And, but it's helped Josh Allen. They've embraced that. If anybody hasn't seen the movie Moneyball, you need to go watch Moneyball. Brad Pitt talking about the Oakland Athletics when he took over, or not Brad Pitt, but I can't remember the guy's name. Brandon Bean? I think that might be the Bills guy. I can't remember. But anyway, this guy takes over the Oakland Athletics. And to rebuild the team, instead of going out and buying all-stars because they don't have the money to do that, they just buy players that are good at certain things, like getting on base or RBIs or different stuff like that. And everybody does their job well. And they end up going pretty deep into the playoffs. I don't think they win it all. But, this is what the Bills are. They got a bunch of guys who play their roles really well. And, they've found a way to win with that. So
I was thinking about it, and this offense reminds me so much of the old New Orleans offense with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. There was no alpha receiver. It was just Drew Brees slinging it, making things happen, a good run game. It's very similar, and it's very frustrating if you're a fantasy owner of any of the Bills receivers. So I feel for you.
Yeah. Very, very frustrating.
But they're so consistent, man. They come out and they all work hard, like you said. Everyone does their job, and it works for them. So
yeah,
shout out to Buffalo.
And one last note I'll make on this team is Kendre Miller, the backup running back, came in 11 carries for 65 yards and added a touchdown. That's a big addition because Kendre's had a rough initial 2 years in the league. So to see him do well today was pretty good. Pretty sure Kendre played on that same TCU team with Quentin Johnston. So
did he really?
Something about these guys making these third year breakouts pretty good. All right, let's move on to Falcons and Commanders. Falcons end up winning 34-27. Pretty high scoring game, pretty fun game to watch. Caleb, anything that stood out to you?
I know everyone's going to hate me for it, but I still don't think Michael Penix is good. I think today he had good stats afterward, but he was carried by playmakers. Bijan was balling his butt off, man. It was just dump offs to Bijan, and he was taking off with it. Same with Drake London. I think Darnell Mooney did it a couple times. Michael Penix just had to do his job, which we've been waiting for him to do, which is just get the ball to him.
Yeah.
And that's all we've been asking for him to do. I don't hate Michael Penix. I just don't think it's that hard sometimes. And I'm speaking from a guy who sits on his couch and watches football, but
right.
get the ball to the guys that are good. But yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, the Redskins or Commanders, sorry, put up a good game with their backup. I know.
Don't ever say that name.
What am I thinking? They put on a good showing despite missing Jaden Daniels. And I also miss Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
We need to see him back out there. I know this team wants to make a playoff run, and I want them to make a playoff run. And Jaden Daniels is the answer to that and needs to be out there on the field. So I'm hoping that he's feeling better and we can see him pretty soon. And the last thing that frustrates me so much is that everything has cleared away. It is supposed to be Bill season. And they won't use him.
I know, dude.
I'm seeing Rodriguez, Mick Nichols. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Bill, where's Bill?
Bill.
Ah!
That's just me on my couch for 4 hours watching the Commanders games.
Yeah, and if you look at their attempts to their rushing yards, he's the most efficient runner. Well, actually, I do think Rodriguez broke off another big one today.
Yeah, but you take away that 48-yard run, they both had equal amount of carries, 7 carries.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, Bill was averaging 6.7 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So, Bill's definitely the better back here.
Please unleash Bill.
Yeah, they gotta, and Bill will probably have more play once Jaden Daniels comes back because he just opens up so many more running lanes.
Right.
But it is frustrating to see. Yeah, I mean, I'd say Michael Penix did play a pretty good game. But to your credit, like he's playing the Commanders, and the Commanders have a really soft secondary. Still not convinced. He has a lot to prove still. I mean, and I will shout you out because last week or 2 weeks ago when you were on, you gave your hot take about Kirk Cousins coming off the bench to relieve Michael Penix and leading the Falcons to the playoffs. And literally, like, was it that week or the following week that it started to happen? Like
Penix gets benched and Kirk came in. I wanted so bad to call up you or Trey, like, hey man, I'll give you whatever you need. Give me 20 seconds on the screen real quick.
Let me just shout
everyone. It's Kirk.
That's right.
And the whole
some crazy looks. Some crazy looks.
Yeah, that was short-lived.
Short-lived. So, but I will say Drake London looked really good today. 8 catches, 10 targets, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. And Bijan. I mean, this is the year for Bijan. He will be the best running back in the league after this year. Yeah, I mean, 17 carries, 75 yards, and that's with Tyler Algier eating up 16 carries.
Right.
16 carries, 51 yards. Like,
get Algie out of here, man.
If they played Bijan a little bit more, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't hate it though. It's kind of like back to the whole thing of the Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, but it keeps him fresh, and it keeps him a little unlikely to be getting injured because like we've seen in the past, these these backs just getting this like huge workload, 20 to 30 carries, and like 5 targets to 8 targets a game. And a lot of them will do it, but it's just so much wear and tear on your body, man, getting tackled that much. So if we can preserve Bijan and keep him healthy and keep him young, then I'm honestly not super against it.
Yeah. It's like every fourth quarter when you're just wanting Bijan to eat more, and it's just Algier run after run after run after run after run. And Bears are trying to score a last minute touchdown to win the game. So that's an exciting one right now, about 4 or 5 yards out. One last thing on the Commanders. I just got to shout out Mariota. We all watched him in the Netflix documentary. He looked absolutely defeated, and he's kind of found himself a home here with Washington, and has played really, really well in spots. Obviously they don't come away with the win today, but he just played really well. And you could see he's got a little more confidence and swagger to him, because 2 years ago when he was playing on the Falcons, he did not look good at all. He looked defeated mentally. So, all right, we got about 15 more minutes. We got a couple of these late window games that have wrapped up. So let's hit the Jags and 49ers. Jags end up winning 26-21, man. The Jags are looking really good.
Duval.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me with the Jags is how good their defense is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just came out of nowhere. Like, the defense last year was abysmal. They were always in these high-scoring shootouts. And today they've got 2 picks. Let's see. Did they get any fumble recoveries? I'm sure they did.
I did see the picks though, and they were pretty bad decision making by Brock Purdy.
Were they?
It was pretty bad. I don't know.
I saw one was a tip pass.
Yeah, one was a tip. Yeah, that's the other one. Bears are going for the 2-point conversion. Make it
they scored.
Who scored game? I think it was Swift. DeAndre
Swift?
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Brock Purdy. What was his injury? Why was he out?
That's a
week or two?
Great question. Great question. I am not sure. TB says the Bears.
Bears. Oh. They didn't convert.
They did not convert. So Raiders are live. Ashton Genty about to get some garbage time points for us.
Chino's about to not right back.
Oh, yeah. Threw a pick, and then the guy lateraled it to one of his fellow teammates. But I think that was a forward pass. So that doesn't really count. All right, back to this Jags and Niners game. Was there anything else that stood out? Travis Etienne had 124 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I was going to say Travis Etienne was he was doing the thing. That's for sure.
It's Travis Etienne season, dude. My basal Tootin bags are in shambles.
Brian Thomas was finally the leading receiver, with a not so impressive 5 catches for 49 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about this team, man. On the other side, for the 49ers, Ricky Pearsall, man, had a great catch. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. One-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's battling a knee injury, so Ricky's the truth. Ricky looks good.
Gosh, this Christian McCaffrey usage is insane. 17 carries for 49 yards, and then 6 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown. They literally,
I love it.
The dude had tendonitis in his Achilles last year, and their answer to that for this year was not to lessen the workload after they trade for Brian Robinson, but to actually give him more work. And wow, just McCaffrey is a legend.
He's so good, man.
But Jags, I mean, do you think Jags are a sleeper team to make a deep run in the playoffs? I mean, they look to be, well, the Colts are also in their division, but that's going to be a heated division race between Colts and Jags. That's so weird. That's so weird.
It's very odd. I'm not completely giving up on Travis Lawrence.
Travis?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Trevor Lawrence. Travis too, honestly. But I just think there's a couple things missing. I think he just needs to lock in, and I really think they can make something happen. And right now, it's still just looking so just shot up. Um, but I'm really hoping they can kind of rally and get things going, especially with the playmakers they have. It would be so exciting to watch.
It really would. Really would. Let's move to this Rams and Colts game. Rams end up winning 27-20. And Matt Stafford, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Puka Nacua, 170 yards, 13 receptions, 1 touchdown on 15 targets. Is Puka the best receiver in the NFL?
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I don't even think that this is a hot take. I think he should be out there with like Jamar and Justin Jefferson. The only thing that separates those two is their ability to make plays after the catch.
For sure.
Just in a receiver like role, Puka is just balling.
He's good. He's good. And I don't want to take anything from him, but Matt Stafford, I don't care how old he is one of the most consistent, accurate QBs in the league. I love Matt Stafford. Stafford's so underrated. I mean, we've seen it with Cooper Kupp, obviously, in the past. Cooper Kupp was obviously a great receiver, but Stafford always finds a way to get these guys the ball. And the offense is schemed to get these guys open. And it works. And gosh, the Rams are great. Love the Rams. I love watching them.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a marriage made in heaven between Puka and Sean McVay, because McVay just knows how to scheme them up like perfectly. Stafford is just, so good at feeding his number one target. It is a perfect match. I don't think Puka replicates this kind of production on any other team. But still, like, Puka is the truth. On the Colts side, did you see that Adonai Mitchell?
I was about to say that, dude. That is just the biggest bonehead thing you can do. It's just, you're already fighting for a spot and to make a name for yourself on the offense in the league, and you go off and you do something like that.
Yeah,
Adonai.
You decide to act silly.
Yeah, you just go off that. I don't know. I can't. Right. It should be Josh Downs. I don't care. Josh Downs is such an underrated receiver. I love Josh Downs.
Danny Dimes just doesn't like Josh Downs as much.
He doesn't.
Adonai Mitchell, 3 catches, 96 yards. 75 of that was that one play, and but -2 points on the stat board, on the fantasy board, because of the fumble. So, and Tyler Warren just continuing to be a dog. 5 catches, 70 yards, 2 rushes, 3 yards, 1 touchdown.
Where do you have Tyler Warren ranked right now?
As in like fantasy football?
I'm gonna say non-fantasy, just as a in talent and tight ends in the league. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
I mean, there's a good case for him to be number 3 overall.
Wow.
Behind Bowers, behind McBride, I think those two are like some of the best tight ends in football. But Tyler Warren is just a weapon. I mean,
and they want to give him the ball. He had rush attempts. He had like 2 rush attempts. I think they were on like the short yardage plays, but shout out Mechanicsville. Shout out Virginia. Love it.
Shout out VA,
baby. Our boy. Incredible.
Yeah, go Tyler Warren. Let's move to this Chiefs-Ravens game that just wrapped up. Chiefs win 37-20. Lamar Jackson out late in the game due to a hamstring injury, but even before that, he was struggling. 14 of 20, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Took 3 sacks. The Chiefs just have Lamar's number, and I think I said that on the Thursday night show when Trey and I were deciding who we were going to pick to win each game. And I just, with the Chiefs having Worthy back, and then the Chiefs defense, they just know how to play Lamar so well. And once again, they just bottled him up. What stood out to you here?
The Ravens' usual game plan is feed Derrick Henry, get him going, and he opens up the offense for everyone else. In this game, Derrick Henry, 8 rush attempts for 42 yards.
Yeah.
You want to see it better. I know obviously you're trailing. You're trying to make things happen, get things going, get that spark ignited. But um, I don't know, man. Like you said, the Chiefs just they have his number. Lamar, he looks really good, but there's been a couple times where he's scrambling in the pocket, and it looks like he's about to make that breakaway play that he usually does, and then he's snagged by somewhere, somehow, and just isn't quick enough to escape it. Don't know if this is a result of maybe, a mental thing or maybe slowing down a little bit. I couldn't tell you, but not as much Lamar magic as we used to see. I still think he's great. I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I love Lamar.
Oh yeah.
Even as a Pittsburgh fan. So fun to watch. But usually that's Lamar's thing is scrambling around, making things happen, making low end receivers look like, top receivers in the league. And it wasn't happening today. And now the Ravens are looking at being 1-3, is it?
Yep.
Yep. And to give them some slack, they've had one of the toughest schedules. They've been playing some good teams.
Bills, Lions, Browns, and now the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, like
it's all up from
that's
here.
tough. That is tough. That is very difficult to start your season playing some of the best teams in the league. So I cut them a break. I think there's better days for Baltimore, and we're going to see it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Baltimore. They've been a top team for the last 3-4 years now, leading in the AFC, but they cannot. They can't consistently beat they can't beat the Chiefs really at all. And then the Bills, they can't consistently beat them. And you hate to see that so early in the season. Obviously, that was game one, so you got to give them a little bit of a break. And that was just Josh Allen working voodoo magic because they came back from a deficit. But just I think the biggest thing for the Ravens is their defense is just so bad. Even after they invested so much in it, but that defense is so bad.
Yeah, I believe they're missing Jair Alexander right now, which we saw the one game with him against the Bills, and he didn't really do much, to be honest, because they threw all over him. But yeah, Ravens defense got to come up with some plays, man. They got to make something happen, and take a break off the offense. It can't just always be the offense.
Yeah, it's Lamar's not getting much help. But at the end of the day, I mean, we saw week one, the Bills defense was just getting thumped by Derrick Henry, and Josh Allen pulled it out, So,
but Chiefs go to 2-2, 2-2.
Yeah, Chiefs are 2-2. Yeah, I think it's up from here. I think they've got Worthy back today, which was a big deal, and he's getting a lot more targets down the field. Last year there was a lot of fabricated targets, short targets to him, but 5 catches, 83 yards on 8 targets. I mean, he caught multiple balls 20, 30 yards down the field, and actually got to rush twice. Had a 35-yard rush on one of them. He's just a weapon that opens up that offense so much, and they desperately needed him to come back. And once Rashi comes back, look out, because Mahomes looks good right now. Mahomes looks very good right now, and just impressed with his play as a whole. So it's looking up for the Chiefs.
And one thing I'll add is there's a lot of criticism and talk saying that the Chiefs need to invest into a running back before it's too late to have an established run game, because right now we're not seeing it. Like you said, Xavier Worthy was their top rusher today with 2 attempts for 38 yards. Yeah. And they get away with it today. Ravens do have a very sound run defense. But same thing, Mahomes, as good as he is, you got to give him a break sometimes. You got to be able to work some plays by handing the ball off. I don't know. If you are the owner of the Chiefs, are you making a change? Are you looking elsewhere to bring in someone in, or?
Well, I think they started to do it a little bit today. Obviously, I think they should go invest in a Breece Hall or an ETN if he's available. ETN's playing so well right now. I don't think it's going to happen. But Breece feels like somebody who's attainable on a bad Jets team. Or even Alvin Kamara, after Kendre Miller played pretty well today. He'd be a good addition to this team.
For sure.
But they're trying to play around with who they drafted, Brashard Smith, who was the guy I was very high on in the offseason. He had 4 targets today, 3 catches, 27 yards. and actually rushed the ball 4 times for 9 yards. He's more of a receiver. He's a receiver convert to running back.
He's the Jerick McKinnon.
He's the Jerick McKinnon, and this team needed a Jerick McKinnon so bad, so bad. Yeah, I think if they can make it happen, go get Breece Hall. You're not going to be upset about going and getting a Breece Hall because he is so talented. And I agree. I think they need a little balance on this team. But like I said, once Rashi comes back, that offense is going to be really dangerous. Really, really dangerous. And yeah. So anyway, it is 7:30. We have we've only got one more game to go over, the Bears and Raiders. We'll save that for after. But now I'm going to bring on our first guest, Seamus, so we could talk about this Sunday night game. So let's bring him in here.
Nice.
Seamus, what it do, man?
What's going on, boys?
Seamus.
Thanks for having me on. 3rd week in a row. I think you're gonna have to put my name on the website as a host on this show.
Dude, you're gonna get royalties from all these shows too.
Might double your pay at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna be doubling your pay after this one.
Love
it. How was your day? Your Sunday of football?
I had no heartbreak yet, so far
that's
so good. You know,
Nice.
That's the good and the bad with the late games. You kind of get to enjoy stress free. But it's that angst of waiting for that, waiting all day for Sunday night. So, but yeah, no, things are good here. Beautiful day in Boston. So no complaints.
How did the brothers parlay go this week?
So we started, we got Dalton Kincaid out of the gate, or not out of the gate, but we had 2 in the 1 o'clock window and 2 in the 4 o'clock window. Unfortunately, Nico Collins didn't get in the end zone, so we knew it was dead pretty quick. I got my first hit of the season though, so I got on the board with Devontae Adams. So
nice.
No 0-4 start for me, so I feel a little better in the loss, but yeah, no, we're still kicking. We actually started a new kind of segment where we're doing guest brothers, so I'm definitely gonna have you guys on at some point.
Dude, yes.
I'm reaching out to other brothers, and it doesn't have to be brothers. It could be, we're trying to do families.
Yeah.
We're
brothers.
Father, yes. It could be father, son, whatever, brother, sister, however you want to do it. We hit our first on Thursday night. Actually, my cousins put together a parlay that we sweat out with the win on Thursday Night Football. So we've actually made some money so far. So things are looking good, but the original brothers have not hit yet. So we're hungry and we're ready for next week already.
Still chasing it.
Yep.
Yeah. If me and Caleb ever get on that show, we'll have to bring on an honorary brother, a guy named Big C, one of our good buddies. This guy is like the king of weird picks. And what was it? 2 weeks ago, Caleb? Yeah. The Browns and Ravens game. He had Devontae Walker anytime touchdown on the list, and wow, Devontae Walker had two that game
twice.
So yeah, he's a freak. But anyway, let's get into this Sunday night game. So Seamus, right off the bat, we've got Green Bay going into Dallas, right?
Yes, sir.
Into Dallas. Are there any immediate storylines you have here for this game?
It's funny. I don't know if you saw the email I replied when you gave the questions of what you were going to go over, and I replied, I can't think of any big storylines. Nothing really happened in the off season between these two teams. So there's I guess Micah Parsons coming back a couple weeks after being traded would be a storyline if we're gonna go with anything. But yeah, all kidding aside. I'm very curious to see how he's going to perform outside of the, playoff games that he's played in. You could argue this is the biggest game he's ever played in. He's going to want to go out there, and he hasn't performed in big games in the past. He, was a no-show against Green Bay a couple years ago, and just hasn't really been. He racks up a lot of sacks. He's an incredible talent, but he hasn't been necessarily a clutch player. So I'm curious to see if the moment gets to him or if he can overcome it. Cause I know that people aren't high on Dallas, but it's a big game just for the circumstance. So I'm curious to see how he plays.
Right. Yeah. This is an easy game to kind of write off since CD's hurt, and the offense looks pretty bad for Dallas last week without him. But as we've seen today, you can't write off anybody in the NFL. I mean,
Nope.
New Orleans put up a great fight against Buffalo. And then we also saw the New York Giants with a rookie quarterback take down the LA Chargers, who were so hot that nobody in their right mind was putting money on the Chargers losing.
And without Malik Neighbors for most of the game and now out for the season, which is, tough break for sure.
Heartbreaking.
But yeah, it's it really is, especially these early weeks in the season. Nobody's really established who they are, so people can be picked off, especially when you doubt a team, and they're all professionals at the end of the day. So I do, I think that the number of 6.5 is pretty good, pretty accurate for Green Bay, considering what they can do offensively and what Dallas can't do defensively. But crazier things have happened for sure. It's by, it's not a 15-point spread. It's, it's a close matchup. And I think with a week of preparation, knowing that they're not going to have CD, they'll do a lot better than just, the guy we throw the ball to the most is not available anymore. So, and they do have, I think, probably one of the more underrated tight ends in the league in Jake Ferguson, who's really had a great start to the season, leading tight ends in receptions and targets with 27 catches already through 3 games, averaging 9 catches a game, which is absolutely insane for a tight end. And nobody seems to be talking about that. So they'll be able to key in on him a little bit more without CD, but they're going to keep throwing him the ball.
Yeah, Ferguson's definitely snuck under the radar, and I think a big part of it's because of Dak's injury last year. But Dak loves him. I mean, the year prior, Dak was targeting him a lot. He looked like a young up and comer, and then he has kind of a down year last year with the absence of Dak. But this year, like even week 1 with CD and George Pickens, I remember watching that game because I have both CD and George Pickens in lots of fantasy leagues, and it was just so frustrating to watch Dak just like launching it to Jake Ferguson like 20 yards down the field almost every play. And Jake Ferguson is like draped in coverage. Like dude's all over him, but he's still throwing the ball to him.
Yeah, it honestly reminds me of how reliant Tony Romo was on Jason Witten. Just kind of that comfort, he may be looking for CD or George Pickens first, but he knows that third look he's going to get Jake Ferguson, and he's going to get 7 yards, and he's going to catch the ball if you throw it to him. So I think that's key tonight.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this, because we did see the Browns take down the Packers last week. So are there any lessons for the Cowboys? How can the Cowboys exploit the Packers tonight?
I think that it all starts with the defensive line. They got to get to Jordan Love. Obviously, there's not much trust, if any, in that secondary in Dallas right now. So if anybody on that defensive line, they've been so close. They're getting pressure. They're not completing the play though. So the guys getting the ball off, and they're right there. So they got to get some sacks. They got to knock Jordan Love around. Hopefully the crowd's into it. I think I'm curious to see how they will be, if they'll be kind of, anti-Micah because he's gone, anti-Jerry because this is who we let go. If they'll be, rocking in favor of the Cowboys, or if they'll be kind of neutral. So I think, if that AT&T crowd is jacked, I think that they can make a difference too. But I think getting to Jordan Love is the key, because if he, he has Wicks and Watson and all these guys that he can just chuck it down the field to, and they'll score those like the Giants did, a couple weeks ago, or last week, or 2 weeks ago. But it's getting to the quarterback is the key, and really for them to have a chance, Dak can't make any mistakes. You can't fumble it on a run. He can't, you can't throw picks. He has to be pretty perfect, and the defense needs to make some pressure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that almost 100%, because Jordan Love, I mean, Trey and I are verified haters. So, we are not big Jordan Love fans. And I think one of the biggest reasons why is great quarterbacks tend to overcome, good pass rushes. we saw Tom Brady do it a ton. He
Mm-hmm.
just has to adjust his game a little bit. And Jordan Love, man, when the pressure is on Jordan Love, he just crumbles. I mean, bad throws, erratic throws, even when there is no pressure, it's like, the whole Sam Darnold seeing ghost thing. It's like Jordan Love seeing ghosts, and he gets those happy feet. And, I think if you can stop them from being able to do what they want to do, throwing the ball, and then they become, one-dimensional with running with oh my gosh, Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs is, I'd say, almost on the tail end of his career as a running back. And
he's over the hill. He definitely still has some tread, but he's not Josh Jacobs.
That's
of
right.
Even last year.
Yep.
But if they can force Green Bay to rely on the run a little bit more, it's definitely a more attainable game for the Cowboys because they've proven over the first 3 weeks that they are much improved on the run. And part of that is, though I've talked about it, that part of it is because Mike is not there anymore, and you have more of a, instead of having one guy kind of freelancing and doing, whatever, and really not having any sort of role in the run game, you have everybody more, in sync with it. And it's definitely shown. What they've lost on the pass rush, they've picked up on the run game. So if they can force them to do that, I also think that defensive line is going to be like, we don't need that guy. And that, I think that if they're the pros that they're supposed to be, they should be fired up and they should be wanting to sack Jordan Love and look across the sidelines at Micah Parsons and be like, we don't need you. We're good.
That's right.
Especially since, and you can't really trust it after it comes out when a guy leaves, the trash talking when they go out the door. But I don't think he was particularly liked in the locker room. I think his podcast rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because he told everybody, what he thought and thought he was the smartest guy in every room. So I don't think that he was as good of a player as he was. He wasn't a locker room guy.
Sure.
So I think that the troops will rally around trying to beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So because the Cowboys, what is their biggest weakness, and how do you think the Packers are going to attack the Cowboys tonight?
I mean, it's definitely the secondary. And they just can't give up the big plays. I mean, you can't give up the big plays. You can't give up the home run ball. And especially if the Cowboys have any momentum on offense, if Dak's playing, if he's balling out, Javonte Williams running the ball, if they have a good offensive drive, especially, if they win the toss, they go down the field and they score, and then Green Bay just answers with, an 80-yard touchdown, deflates the whole building. So I think just avoiding big plays, they're not going to be shut down. They're not going to be Revis Island out there. Just avoid the big mistakes because they have been good in the red zone. They've been forcing field goals. It's just, they've been giving up big plays and not even being in the red zone to have an opportunity. So just avoiding those long, just over the top plays would be the key for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, we have a comment. This is a lost Giants fan. What's up, WDEC? Next week is Saints, very winnable. If we win that, we're 2-3. Talking about the Giants. Yeah, I think you're definitely going to win that. I think you're going to be 2-3 after this week, or after next week, and then you run into a buzzsaw, which is just unfortunate without Malik. So really, you just want to see Jaxson Dart grow. I mean, that's where my head's at for. If I'm a Giants fan, but thanks for the comment. We appreciate you being in here.
Speaking of Jaxson Dart, real quick, what did you think?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if you saw this, that he posted on his Instagram story a picture of Madison beer and then immediately deleted it.
Was that real or was that fake?
I don't know. I saw it real quick. I meant to dive in to see if it's real. I mean,
if he did, legend.
Especially backing it up. I mean, if he didn't, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I got a good laugh out of that one.
That's right.
Whether it's real or not, it was real to me in the moment, and I laughed. So
that's right. Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious when I saw it. I was just like, Jaxson Dart definitely has that swag. Caleb actually has been on Jaxson Dart since like right after the season ended last year, and telling me, yeah, Jaxson Dart's the truth. So shout out Cabes.
Nice call.
I do what I can, man. I do what I can. I'm not going to go over the misses, though. We'll focus on that one.
Yeah, we only talk about the wins. That's all that matters.
That's right.
Sir.
All right, so we got just a few more minutes left. So let's go into keys to the victory. I think we've talked about a lot of them, but just a quick summary of keys to victory, and then what your game prediction is. And we'll go around the room. I'm actually going to start with Caleb here. We'll go Caleb, Seamus, me.
Nice. Just as like I'm listening to you guys talk, there's so many things I'm really kind of honing in and looking for in tonight's game. Obviously Dak is missing Sedarius Lamb. Just a huge blow. It stinks, and it sounds like, Seamus, you think Jake Ferguson is kind of the guy to step up. I agree with you. I just think it's going to take more than that. Obviously Javonte Williams has been playing really good lately. And I know Green Bay's got a great run defense, but in my opinion for Dallas is don't give up hope. If you go down early, don't give up. Don't get flustered too quick when things don't go your way. Stay in there. Keep fighting, keep chipping at it. Flip side, I'm also on the train. I don't think Jordan Love is very good. I think he's got a great support cast behind him and the coaching and good players around him. Tonight is really going to show what he can do against a weak secondary, if he can really pick them apart using the weapons that he has. I know everyone's still kind of waiting, like, who's the breakout receiver for Green Bay? Who's it going to be? Like, wait for that. I think we haven't seen it because Jordan Love isn't good enough to support a good receiver. Which is crazy to say. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, and maybe I'll eat my own words, but I'll still stand by it. But I really could see a good battle between the tight ends tonight with Jake Ferguson and Tucker Kraft. I think both are very underrated in their own way. And I think whichever team is able to deploy their tight end better, I think it's going to have a really good shot at taking off and winning the game. So score predictions, I'm going to say I didn't get a chance to think this one over, but I'm leaning towards.
Just follow your heart.
I know it's tough. I'm gonna go 27-13, Green Bay Packers, and I don't like saying that, but I think I got to roll with it.
I mean, it's far from a hot take. I think all the evidence points to Green Bay winning for sure. Never mind just the real estate that Green Bay owns in Dallas, just historically, whether it's the Des Cottick game, whether it's the wild card game, a couple years ago, what's his name? Cook, the tight end, tiptoeing on the sidelines. It's, they're not afraid of playing an AT&T, no matter who is the quarterback. So, I mean, it's the smart pick is Green Bay for sure.
I don't like it. I usually want to go something more exciting, but I just I kind of just had a brain fart and didn't like any of my options, so I had to go with I guess popular favorite. Right now, if it's interesting at all, but I lost it. But on Sleeper right now, the vote is like 83% is swayed to Green Bay, and the rest is to Dallas. So I think Green Bay definitely is the popular pick tonight.
Yeah.
What about you, Seamus? What are your what's your overall key to victory, and then your prediction for the game?
Well, so I think Deron Bland being back, I think is helpful. Even if he is a step behind, he's that threat of if he gets the ball in his hands, Mr. Pick Six. I think that there needs to be the turnover difference. It needs to favor the Cowboys if they're going to have a shot. So if Diggs or Deron Bland, or if anybody's able to make an interception, and never mind if they return 1 for 6, I think that could tip the favor. Since this is the Fan Feed podcast, and we're all fans of our teams, I'm good. I don't like the homer pick, but I'm going to go with it. I'm feeling it. I'm going to go 30-27 with the best leg in the league drilling.
Yeah.
I'm going to get real hot. I'm going to say he's going to hit a 67-yarder to win.
NFL, come on now.
NFL record. And he's going to win the game. So
that's hot.
Seamus,
I want to throw a hot take out there. So Yeah, make sure we back up this file in case that happens. Yeah, I want copies of this just in case that happens. But yeah, 30-27, Brandon Aubrey with a 67-yard field goal for the win and the NFL record.
I love that.
Man. I love it.
I love that.
Cool.
Which would totally steal the thunder of McLaughlin, who hit the 65er earlier.
Gosh,
it's like, it's not even the true. That was not even the longest field goal of the day.
That's the longest field goal outdoors. So he does own something there.
That was a rocket
kick. And then he came back and hit a 58-yarder later. I mean, we might have a new best kicker in the league.
Yeah.
So real quick, because we're running out of time on this segment, but yeah, I think if the Cowboys come out like they did Week 1 against Philly, chippy, barking at everybody, getting the penalties for taunting and all that stuff. If they come out with that kind of energy, I think they have a real chance. And I think that their run defense, like Seamus said earlier, has vastly improved. And I think if it starts with stopping the run, if they can force Jordan Love to take control of the game and just make Jordan Love make 1 or 2 mistakes and then play a clean game on offense, I can see the Cowboys winning this one. And I'm looking especially on offense at George Pickens and Kevontae Turpin. Pickens is the obvious one. He's the guy that Schottenheimer was talking about in the offseason as needing to be interchangeable with CD. And so we got to see that because it didn't look like that last week, and he hasn't really had a strong season so far. But tonight's the night. They've had a full week to prepare for this. Need George Pickens to come in and take over at least part of that role, 80% CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And then Turpin. Turpin is a weapon that the Cowboys have yet to really fully utilize. I think this is a great game to kind of give him more opportunities to do his thing. Especially with CD out, they got to spread the ball around. And I think if they can do that, if they can run the ball consistently and just keep the game of possession, I'm going to go Cowboys. I'm going to say 27-23 just because this feels like a trap for the Packers. They are coming off that loss to Cleveland last week, so they might be fired up. I might be totally wrong. It might be 31-13. I could see that happening as well. But because this is the Fan Feed podcast and I am not afraid of what people on the internet might say, I'm going Cowboys 27-23. And we'll see. I think this is going to be much more exciting than most people think.
I think this is probably the only show that's airing right now that the majority favors the Cowboys over the Packers, even in Dallas.
That's right. We're not cowards. Just wait until we talk about the Bengals and the Broncos.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. To that.
Well, cool. Seamus, I'm going to have to end this one kind of rapidly, but appreciate you coming on, my man.
All right.
And, Seamus.
We will talk to you here soon.
For sure. And whenever you guys want to send over some picks, we'll have you on the Winded Pod.
Yes. Come on, dude. Let's do it.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right, man.
Yeah. Good seeing you, Seamus. Have a good night.
Take care, guys.
All right, Seamus. Fun times. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm bringing on our guest now. We've got Jose and we've got Julia.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
Both good and bad. Malik Neighbors tore his ACL today, so that just made me want to cry. But then Ashton Genty had 3 touchdowns. So, thus is football.
For sure.
How are y'all feeling about tomorrow night's game?
Iffy. I don't really know what to think. I'm thinking from last week's performance, you can only go up from there. So I'm hopeful in that regard, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, on paper, I think this game should be won by the Broncos easily, but also that's what I said about some of the games we lost already this season. Like, okay, we have this game in the bag, so there's a big difference between what should happen and what actually does happen, especially with this Broncos team so far. So, I mean, on paper, I have the Broncos winning huge, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this became another nail biter.
Yeah. So far this season, nothing easy has come for the Broncos.
Not at all. I mean, and even around the league, you've seen like so many close games and underdogs, just like the Browns last week with Green Bay, like you guys were mentioning earlier. Like, I mean, the margin for error in the NFL is so small, and the gap of talent is so small between almost every team. It's like, all right, you have to literally show up with your A game every weekend, or you could be that team that gets upset.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, and this is the hardest part of the year too, to predict things, because we only have like 3 weeks so far of information about our teams. And especially in Julia's case, like, you lose that Joe Burrow, and it's like, that changes everything for the team.
Sure. It's been an emotional season for sure.
It's just never fun, especially because every season I feel like everybody comes in looking at their team like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
And for something like that to happen so early on is just painful.
Oh.
So let's get into some of these questions. So my first question to y'all is, what is the first storyline that jumps out to you when you see this game? And we'll start with Julia.
I think the biggest thing is just, how do the Bengals respond after their performance last week? And just, can this team find success without Joe Burrow? Because I think clearly last week, no, to state the obvious, but I think I still have hope personally. And like, this will just be kind of like a good telling thing, like, for what the next couple of weeks follow after. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see how things shake up.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Jose?
Yeah, so for me, really the main storyline for Broncos fans across Broncos country is, who is the identity of this team? I mean, so far throughout the season, we've kind of underperformed up to the preseason hype. I mean, the national media had the Broncos pegged as like a dark horse Super Bowl pick, and the defense is underperforming. Even Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, and the secondary is kind of, not living up to the billing in pass coverage. Really, the saving grace of this team as a whole is the pass rush. And even that's not enough to make up for the inconsistency with Bo Nix and Sean Payton's play calling and special teams miscues. So really, we're kind of in this space where we don't even know who this team is yet. And that's perfectly fine for, coming into the fourth game of the season. But at the same time, it's like, you like to kind of have an identity at this point, like, but we still don't know what they're good at, especially offensively.
Yeah, 100%. It's it's been very weird because Trey, obviously a huge Broncos fan, and listening to him all throughout the offseason, I did not believe in him at first. And then he swayed me. I mean, but I heard it like every week, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I don't see how the Broncos don't at least make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks now into the season, and it's like, what happened? All the things we thought we knew are gone. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult. And on Julia's note too, talking about still having hope, I will say Jake Browning is not as bad as he's looked the past like 2 games.
Sure.
Did you have anything? Do you remember his 2023?
I do.
Games?
And that was a season I appreciated, actually, because obviously like it was tragic and like what happened to Joe Burrow, and you kind of expect your season to be just done after that. But when Jake Browning came in, like, he definitely gave fans like a lot of hope and kind of like passion still like into the games. I mean, obviously we didn't make the playoffs that season, but I still, like, for what he did, like, I'm very happy to have him as a backup quarterback. So like, yeah, that's what it's obviously, I mean, our offensive line is a huge part of his poor performance last week, but I don't know. Like, I think he'll be fine. I think he's just getting into things now, so we'll see.
And to add to that,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. I was going to say, you might have kind of answered the question, but me and Cam were kind of talking earlier. Is this when you just give up on Jake Browning? Do you cut your losses and try to get someone else, like a Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson? So I was honestly hearing from a Bengals fan. I want to know your opinion. Like, do you stick with Jake Browning? Do you go get someone else? Like, what's the thought process?
I think, my first reaction was I wanted Jameis Winston for entertainment's sake alone, because if we're losing, at least we'll be entertained in the process. So like, that was my first thought. And then obviously after last week's game, I still like wanted to go out and get someone, and like, especially now with like Jaxson Dart starting to, like, the possibility of Russell Wilson, just, I wouldn't shoot down the idea, but I don't think Browning's just like completely out by any means. So
yeah.
I'll read this to you guys. So the end of 2023 was when Burrow got hurt. So he started from week 12 on through week 18. His quarterback finishes were QB 18, QB 4, QB 4, QB 8, QB 21, QB 8, QB 9. So it's definitely not over. He was a top 10 quarterback for like 5 out of those 7 weeks, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so it's not over. He's just been playing bad or tough defenses. But speaking of tough defenses, the Broncos have a tough defense. So my next question for you guys, and we'll start with Jose on this one, is how does your team hope to exploit the other team? So Jose, how do you think the Broncos are going to exploit the Bengals here?
Yeah, so for the Broncos defense, I think it starts up front with our pass rush. We have the best pass rush in the NFL. I know Nick Bonito leads the league in sacks, QB rushes, QB hurries, and a lot of other of those pass rush categories. And I honestly don't think, contrary to what you guys believe, I think Jake Browning is terrible. And I also think Zach Taylor's terrible.
I agree.
I hate Zach Taylor.
I
do too.
His record without Joe Burrow is like 4-28. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I think the only reason he still has a job is because Joe Burrow is such an elite talent. And Jamar Chase and even T. Higgins, they're such elite players that they are just a huge Band-Aid for everything else that the coaching staff and that team does wrong. And hopefully, from the Broncos' perspective, we can just disrupt Browning's game throughout the entire 4 quarters of the game tomorrow. I expect a defensive touchdown from the Denver Broncos, and I expect against this Bengals defense that finally the Broncos can establish some sort of identity, whether that's running the ball or having Bo Nix become a little bit more efficient with not only his mid-range passes, but also, every once in a while when we do take a shot, we just need him to hit at least 50% of them, as opposed to last week going nearly 0 for 3. So I think the Broncos have a lot of advantages in this matchup. It's just a matter of execution.
Yep. And matter of RJ Harvey starting, right?
You know what? That's another big talking point in Denver. It's like, hey, where's this guy been? Sean Payton's saying that, he's still a very big part of what this offense plans to do later on in the season. But I mean, J.K. Dobbins is a dog, man. He's making him earn it.
He's balling.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's top 5 in rushing yards so far this season, and he's still showing a lot of explosivity. He's broken off a couple of 20-plus yard runs. He scored a touchdown in every game so far. So, I mean, especially when you have a backfield by committee, you got to go with the hot hand. And I think Dobbins is, making his case for being the starting running back so far.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Julia, what about you?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Jose, I sadly agree with a lot that you just said, actually, but I think the biggest thing is just because what you said like earlier on about like Denver has been very inconsistent these past few weeks, and I feel like their defense has been very inconsistent. So if we can get the offense going and utilize the receivers that we have, I think that will still give us a fighting chance against it. But still, there's a lot of question marks, I'd say, just about this game as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember in our last matchup in that game last year where it went into overtime, that was such a good game. And
so good.
Thankfully, on the Broncos end, Pat Surtain was able to lock down Chase for a majority of that game, but it was T. Higgins who exploited Riley Moss the entire game. Yeah. And that's another big, point of concern for the Bronco fans is that Riley Moss is the most targeted cornerback in the NFL. And as a Bronco fan, when you're just watching the game and not going into the all-22, it just seems like he's being harassed on a weekly basis. But when you have Pat Surtain on the other side, I mean, it's inevitable that that's going to happen. But I think that's going to be one of the key matchups here is T. Higgins versus Riley Moss once again. So if Browning can take advantage.
Beep bop biddly boo.
Jose, if you can hear me, I can't hear you.
We'll give him a second to come back in, but I think to finish his thought that if the Bengals can, there you are. Looks like you're back.
Yeah, so you guys missed my entire spiel.
We did. We missed the entire spiel.
I know it was great though.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I mean that's really probably the target that you guys want to search for against the Broncos is Riley Moss and also probably the inside linebackers. If you guys can get a matchup with your tight ends or your running backs out of the backfield, I mean we're missing Dre Greenlaw, which was supposed to be one of our big free agent signings. He's yet to see the field, and Alex Singleton coming off an ACL injury, he's just had a rough go of it so far, especially when in pass coverage. So there's a couple weaknesses on the Broncos defense that Browning can take advantage of if he has the time to throw the ball. So that's really what it comes down to.
For sure.
So let's do this. We'll go into the keys to victory, and then we'll give our game predictions. We're going to start up here, top right corner with Caleb once again, putting him on the spot, and we'll swing back around to the bottom. We'll go Jose, then Julia, then me. And so Caleb, keys to victory for this game, and what do you think is the outcome?
Nice. First of all, Zach Taylor couldn't inspire me to make a sandwich. I don't know if you've ever seen like the locker room talks with him, man, but it's just like so monotone, just so simple and like nothing. It's like, gosh, dude.
That Hard Knock season, the Hard Knock season last year was so hard to watch because it was like Tomlin, who's like a leader of men, Harbaugh, also a leader of men, Stefanski, just a guru at the game, and then Zach Taylor. Guys, we just got to get out there and execute.
We're gonna hit them. We're gonna hit them hard. Okay, coach. Yeah, some weird expectations for this game, but I am a big Chase Brown guy, and I think that Denver's run defense has been struggling as of the 3 games we have played. So I really think getting Chase Brown going. I know you have a shot up offensive line that's never or hasn't been strong in a while, but get him in open space, give him some design plays, even if it's screen passes, get Chase Brown going. I think that opens up for the receivers down the field. On the other hand, the Broncos, you have good players. You have a good defense. I know it's been inconsistent, but trust your main guys. Bo Nix needs to just settle down, make good throws, not making anything crazy down the field, throw it to his good receivers, and just move the ball down the field, make good decisions. As simple as that. Like you said, it's a weak defense. They haven't really showed anything crazy. Just take your time. Don't underestimate them, and have a good game. But score prediction, gosh, I always struggle with these. Nothing sounds good. I'll come up with a number in my head, and I'm like, no, that's not going to be it. I am leaning towards I am leaning towards Denver on this one. I think this is a big Bo Nix game. I think he can really, kind of shoot down the sophomore slump Sayers. So I am going to go ahead. You know who you are. I'm going to say 31-10, Denver Broncos.
Nice. I'm very close with you on my score prediction. So I think you're
Julia.
spot on.
It's okay. Mine's actually kind of similar. So
I love the Bengals. I really do. And they're in our division. But man, it's hard to root for them right now.
100%. I get it.
All right, Jose, what about you?
Yeah, so I think really the keys to this game is Bo Nix. He needs to find some consistency. He's kind of known as like this check down Charlie and game manager, but I mean, that really shouldn't be taken as a diss. If he can manage the game and just do what's asked of him by Sean Payton and the rest of this offense, he has the weapons on the outside. Courtland Sutton is obviously, a mainstay at receiver for the Broncos.
Dog.
Troy Franklin is coming along. I think who needs to get more involved is Bryant, that rookie receiver, especially with Marvin Mims popping up on the with Marvin Mims popping up on the injury report yesterday with the back. Like, I don't know how much he's going to play tomorrow. I think if he can just manage the game and get the ball to his playmakers in space, that this Broncos offense can get rolling. But that also has to do a lot with Sean Payton's play calling. Sean Payton needs to find a rhythm with the plays that he's calling. It kind of seems like with their identity on offense, they're kind of using the pass to set up the run, and it's not really opening things up for them so far. So I think right out the gate, the Broncos need to establish the run and commit to it from the very beginning of the game. They did that against the Chargers last week a little bit, and they saw success early in the game. But when you look at the Broncos so far this season, they're a really slow starting team. Their first quarter scoring is, bottom of the league. And even their second quarter offense is pretty bad. But where the Broncos do excel is end of the second quarter, third quarter. They're one of the most efficient teams, and that's really where they have a bulk of their offense is end of the first half and through the third quarter. Like they find a way to get hot once they get warmed up and get going. But against a bad Bengals team, we need to start fast and they need to finish the game. We can't just not play 2 quarters of the game. They need to play the first quarter and they need to play the fourth quarter. And I think this is a game where style points do matter, especially as a Broncos fan. Like, I don't want to just have another close game against a bad team. Like, this is a game where the Broncos need to put up points on offense and need to shut down the Bengals on defense. Like, if we have another, middling performance where, we're playing down to the level of the Bengals, as a Broncos fan, the season, is kind of wavering for me. Like, coming into the year, we think this team can, compete for a Super Bowl. And, if we can barely beat a bad Bengals team without Joe Burrow, that's going to kind of leave some questions unanswered. So I think starting fast and finishing the game is probably the biggest key. And I think the Broncos win this game 34-10 with the Broncos being 7.5 point favorites. And then the over under on this game being, I think it's 44. So it's going to be right under it.
Wow.
Love it. All right, Julia, let's hear it.
Oh, after all that, I would just protect Jake Browning and the O-line. Like, it just needs to improve, or like there's going to be just like, I don't even know. Like, that's just like the biggest thing. Like, just like you look at our team and just like with Joe Burrow and like how his injury like took place, like it just like that is the biggest thing that needs improvement, as well as our defensive line. But I feel like my attention's more towards the offensive line right now, because I think someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but before the season, like we were ranked in the top 5 offenses in the league, and now we've gone down to 20 or something. So
yeah,
I just think we just need to get going in all aspects of offense, and definitely establishing the run game and getting Chase Brown going, because he's had a very slow first few weeks. So I feel like that could be a difference. And then also just forcing turnovers. The first 2 games, interceptions was kind of the key to our defense. That obviously is not a great defense. So I feel like if we do force turnovers, that will definitely give us more of a chance in the game. But I do sadly have the final score as Broncos winning 31-17. But I think an improvement from last week's game against the Vikings. And so that's what I'm just looking for, improvements. That's kind of my going into it.
Yeah, it's hard when your MVP quarterback is unavailable. Like, it's hard not to lose hope on the season.
Yeah.
Like, is there a certain point where you get to, as a Bengals fan, like, let's just tank and like get Zach Taylor fired and maybe get some firepower heading into next season, or at least maybe a high draft pick for some offensive line help. I mean, I don't know what your thought process is as a Bengals fan, but like, where are you at on the season? Like, are you giving up yet, or like, what's your hope for the rest of the season?
I feel like I definitely have not given up yet, because I feel like it's still so early, and obviously like Joe Burrow going down was like not anything that anyone expected. So we're just kind of like developing like with Jake Browning right now. So I wouldn't, just because we're only on week 4, I wouldn't say like we're completely like out of the picture fully. I do think the next few weeks are going to be very telling on how the season's going to go. And as a fan, I mean, like we have the Lions and we have Green Bay after. So like we have a tough stretch of games. And so I definitely like what you said, like getting Zach Taylor out of there, getting a high draft pick. Like that is definitely just kind of, I'm very open-minded and just kind of seeing how the next few weeks go.
Yeah,
and then
you're not there yet.
Yeah. Still early.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Who knows, dude? Jake Browning could be sick.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's right. As always, I usually like to wait till last to see where everybody goes. I will be the guy that calls the underdog shot. Just
Shocker.
Because there always has to be one.
Shocker.
You don't want to be that podcast where it has all Broncos and then the Bengals win and then it's our fault.
I can't do it, dude. No, so the Broncos, as we've seen, like obviously I think they're a better team, but they have not played like a better team. They've struggled mightily, and just because they're going against a perceived bad Bengals team coming off a absolute butt kicking to the Minnesota Vikings, I think the Bengals are geared up and they don't want to lose this game. You see a lot of times when a quarterback goes down that the rest of the team steps up, especially defensively. The defense starts holding down. So I think the keys for the Bengals would be just to be opportunistic on defense. You know, they're not going to be able to keep the Broncos from scoring a ton, but they do have to win the turnover battle. If they can win the turnover battle and the offense can stay consistent, and I'll go to like what Caleb said earlier, they got to get the run game going. And especially against the Broncos, this is the thing that the Broncos have struggled with probably the most this year is stopping the run. Jonathan Taylor trampled all over him. Chase Brown's yet to get going this year. And so obviously that's hard to do when your offensive line is buns. But if they can get him out in space even and just throw him some screen passes, even get the rookie Taj Brooks in there and let him run some. I think between the two of them, if they can have they don't have to have 100 yards rushing, but if they can help move the chains and take the load off of Browning and not put Browning in these 3rd and 11 situations, they can just focus on getting first down after first down. They can keep this game competitive. And so, I'll be the bear. I'm going to say 21-20 Bengals win in dramatic fashion. And Broncos, once again, 3 out of their first 4 games have lost by a field goal after holding the lead the entire fourth quarter. How does that sound, Jose?
You know, man, I'm not going to say what I want to say to you right now. But I think you know.
That's not right to bring up a man's PTSD.
No, but as much as I hate Zach Taylor and I think he's, you know, not fit to be a NFL head coach, this is kind of a game where you find out, you know, what he's really made of. Like coming off of an ass whooping like he did last week, like can he bounce back like the Falcons did this week and you know, put up a good fight? I mean, like I mentioned when I first came on, it's the NFL. The margin in difference between talent is so minuscule that any given Sunday, anything can happen. So I'm hoping the Broncos pull it off and, you know, keep things rolling, but you never know.
Yep. And here's the thing. If the Bengals lose the next 3 games, like you said, just start tanking, you know, and then get that early draft pick, look towards next year, fire Zach Taylor, hire Clint Kubiak, the OC for Seattle, bring him in as the new head coach, and then go draft you another receiver in the top 5. That would be sick. Yes. All right, now I'm bringing up Julia's PTSD. Let's go. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on. We're excited for tomorrow night. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hope so.
I like having a non-stressful Sunday today. So
yes. Non-stressful Sundays are very good. Unfortunately, I play too much fantasy football to be unstressed. It just is always stressful. My wife was literally we were not really watching the games. She was doing some other things around the house, but she kept checking her score on her fantasy team, and her team was playing great, like probably like the 3rd or 4th best team in the league. And she was just so mad all day. I was like, what is wrong? Why are you upset? And she's like, they're just not performing like I know they can. Yeah, that's what happens when you play fantasy. You're like,
they honestly
put up 30.
We should have something for next year where fans need to be able to give their fantasy teams prep talks, you know, before going into Sundays. You know how great it would be to sit down Justin Jefferson and just yell at him and just tell him to be better.
JJ, I need you.
I need you.
All right. Well, guys, once again, thank you so much. We'll be looking out for more articles from you guys over at FanFeed and hopefully seeing you guys back on the pod here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having
us. Good to meet you guys. Right. Have a good night.
Peace out, guys.
Yep. Enjoy tomorrow night. See ya. All right. So with that, Cabes, it's 8:19. This game's about to start. We got to really quickly hit this Bears and Raiders game. Bears end up winning last minute, 25-24. Man, they were losing for a long time. But yeah, I think that's really why we're here right now. Ashton Genty, his final stat line was 21 carries, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. A 64-yard touchdown was one of them, and then 2 receptions.
What a dog.
For 17 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's go.
Yeah, what a dog. I mean, 2 catches as well for 17 yards. I'm still really hoping they get him involved in the passing offense and get him more catches, more targets. That'd be great. But yeah, Ashton Genty, he's a dog. Obviously, the Bears don't have the best of run defense in the league. So I'm not expecting this every single week. But man, I've said it before, I say it again, but the Bears are looking good. I love it. I have been pulling for the Bears. They have dramatically changed things since last year. And yeah, Caleb Williams, he's a whiner, but he's getting it done. And I was completely wrong in saying that Rome Odunze was not going to be the top target this year for Caleb Williams, but here we are.
Here we
Rome
are.
Odunze is having his second-year breakout. So good for him. That's awesome. I love it. We're still waiting on Colston though. Where's Colston?
He was hurt today.
He was?
Yeah, he was hurt, and we're also waiting on Luther.
We are waiting
it
on
just
Luther.
pains me so much to see Olamide Zaccheaus in the box score. 6 targets for 5 catches, 41 yards. I know Luther would have at least doubled that yardage total.
Someone get him out of here.
I know. Ben Johnson just frustrates me so bad.
Gosh.
But yeah, not much to say here. Just Ashton Genty breakout game. Geno Smith did not look good.
3 interceptions, dude.
3 picks. Only threw the ball 21 times, 117 yards. It's I hope it's not over, but it's looking pretty over for Geno. But yeah, so that's all the games we got, Caves. So
very nice.
With that, guys, we are going to sign off. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube and anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and check out the website. Lots and lots of stuff going up on the website. Share us with your friends, family, whoever. It helps grow the channel immensely. And we're going to end pretty quickly. So
3 cheers.
I got to watch this game.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Hip, hip. Hooray.
So with that, guys, we will see you on Tuesday with the fantasy football stream. And we will see you next time.